Welcome into the Bobby Carpenter Show, and oh my Schlegs, we have a show for you today, and I love recapping the Ohio State games here on Monday, going deep dive, heavy into what that game was, what it looked like, what we could expect moving forward, and holy smokes, man, it doesn't get a whole lot better than this. And Schlegs, I'm going to give you credit. I said 24-10. I think you said 27-10. You were just about right on the nose, my man, with what you put out there with your score prediction. So kudos to you. Well done. But a big victory in Ann Arbor for the Ohio State Buckeyes. And I don't think this game could have been any bigger for Ryan Day. Like he seemed like a different guy out there this week. There was a confidence about him, that quiet confidence. I don't want to say a smugness, but there was something there about him that it was like he knew something that nobody else did. And I think it's because he knew the character of this team. He knew the makeup, the ingredients of what it was about. He knew the ingredients of this coaching staff and how they fit in together this year and what that looks like. With Matt Patricia coming in, Brian Hartline getting elevated, Tebow coming into O-line. Like said, all these guys and all these pieces fit. And I think it's really the culmination of that. He talked about building the foundation, block by block, brick by brick, just like chop wood, carry water. And that was going to be what was able to push them through this. They had built a steady foundation. They had put together everything that they needed to. And with that, you saw utter domination on Saturday in front of 110,000 people, but it looked like the stadium probably had 10,000 on the low end. I don't know if it quite got to 20,000, but there was a lot of Buckeye fans that were in the big house ready to celebrate that and celebrate that victory with the Buckeyes.
Yeah, Bob, it was great. One, I think I predicted 27-13 is what I said. But I was still.
I thought you had it almost.
I might have had it. I don't know. And I would say it this too. It's like I kind of thought they might have scored or something, and they had an opportunity to. And to your point, Bob, like it was one of those games where, here's the best part when I'm watching that game early on. Everybody was talking about, and in my notes, everybody was talking about they haven't handled adversity. They haven't had this. They haven't done that. And again, they beat every team outside of the one cover of Purdue by the expectation that, hey, if we think you're going to beat them by 31, they beat them by over 31. They have just handled their business consistently. They've gone through these games with this buildup in mind. And I allude back to chop wood, carry water. It's about the process, not the results. And the results that regular people want, fans want, are 56-7. When you don't have to do that. Why can't it be 42-7? Why can't it be 38-7? And just continue to build and build, like you said, a solid foundation, brick by brick. And surprisingly enough, I know for a fact before the team went out, like Ryan opened up to players, and they referenced chop wood, carry water in the process. And then this is the culmination of that during the regular season. It doesn't stop. They're playing in a championship game this week. But that process of what we saw all year, from controlling what you can control, being just about winning the game, Julian saying week one, right, to then opening it up a little bit in the passing game. And we saw that game. It's like, oh, man, there it is. And then, oh, everybody out there, why are we just running the ball? Like, why? We're working on things. The process. Be process-oriented. Chop wood, carry water. And then you just see it happen to a number 15 ranked Michigan team on the road in the big house. And I'm not going to lie. I mean, like, there was a couple of gashes in the run game early on. 2 plays. I think it equaled 52 yards, Bob. And part of those were fits, right? It was just, why'd you peek inside? Who has the C gap? Big run. Then you go out and they had 108 yards at halftime, and they finished the game with 100 yards.
They opened the game, and I think, after talking to some of the guys, I think they were expecting, Michigan to maybe come out and start the game with a little play action, run a boot, loosen you up. You're so amped up in that game. Stop the run. Like, let's go, be physical. And so you're thinking, okay, maybe they'll run a boot. And so they ran, nickel pressure from the field. You saw Lorenzo Styles coming off the edge. Maybe could have got down there a little bit better. He held it for a while. And so with that, the whole line is stunting to the boundary, to the side of the short side of the field. And when you do that, the linebackers play slow because everybody in front of them is going fast. So what happened was Tywone Malone, it looked like, got cut out of his gap legs. The guard was able to hook him a little bit, and it was a late hook, and maybe he peeked inside. And in doing that, or the tackle cut him, and there's a little gap. And give them credit. I mean, they were able to hold it, look, running back waits, and then pops through there. Sonny and Vel are playing back on that because you want to play slow since the line's going fast in front of you. And then boom, all of a sudden you get those yards. And so that's the first play of the game. You're expecting something, you get something else. But what I love about this team and what I really loved about this game is you start off with that and you're thinking, oh no, they run down there. But what do? Hold them to a field goal. Offensively, you come out. All right, we're going to be aggressive, man. We're going to take some shots. Shot down to Carnell. Feel okay, we should be good. Well, let's throw it to JJ. And kudos to Michigan. They disguised it really well. They were playing like a two trail, some sort of cover two man, two trail over there. And I think Julian saw the safety high in the middle and thinking, okay, I've got single coverage on my guy over here. Boom, let's go to him. He lets him win, to stays underneath. You see the safety run over and you throw a pick. Gets the ball back, comes down, Schlegs. What do you do?
But why? Just so everybody knows, like why was that guy able to drop? They didn't have anybody in the flat. So kudos to that corner. I'm not threatened. I get, because again, a coaching cue, depth vision break. I'm just letting you guys know some nuggets. There's nobody threatening the guy in the flat. So maybe it's a little bit on that design in that, right? If they're playing cover two, boom, I got my corner. There's no threat to there. He's just going to count it back, and I don't have that throw. But he made it. Keep going.
So he makes it. He makes the throw, gets fooled a little bit, and I think you got single coverage out there on the outside. And so this is the thing. Life is so much. My dad used to have these signs. I think they're hanging in my kids' room now. He took them down. He used to teach, in high school, and he would teach, sometimes some of the more troubled youth. And he would have a sign because everybody was always everyone else's fault. And he's like, life is 10% what happens to you, and 90% how you react to it. And so I watched the first half all by myself. Like family had kind of left. They went to our neighbors. I'm like, I got to just be here.
You guys sent a tweet, or that maybe I'm referencing the show from last week. Were you like nervous eating and drinking while that first half by yourself? Like what?
Oh, dude, I didn't drink at all. I didn't drink at all in the first half. It's Friday, because Friday was kind of like a fake Saturday. We had so much football in there. And so I just sat down after we did the show and just locked in and watched all these games and had some beverages, hung out with my brothers as we watched and commentated on all of them, talking about the coaches we know at different places and where they're going to go and everything, and who was playing well, who wasn't. And then so Saturday I woke up, drove my son early, drove my parents, got up here at like 6:30 so he could get to swim practice, took a nap, did my XM show. And I'm like, you know what, if I start drinking now, like it's going to get bad. It'll get bad on me. And thankfully I didn't even find the Cutwaters and garage beer that I had in a secondary fridge. If I would have saw those, I would have went in on them. But I ate so much food because I just have to, I'm a nervous fidgeter. And I I just have to be like doing something. I'm like Danny Ocean, in Oceans. I'm just sitting there eating, always eating, hanging out. So I didn't eat anything. And then I started drinking the second half. But once I realized that after seeing Ohio State answer the bell, hold them to 2 field goals, and then you got all right, you're down 6-0. Could be 14-0, could be 10-0. But you held out. And the best part is you saw Ryan Day when Julian came over. And coaches can get wild, and Ryan has been known, he'll yell at people. He's a quarterback, so he'll get on his quarterbacks. But I go back to a line that I think Tress said when he was on here with us, Schlegs. When we talked to him about his style and coaching, he always looked so calm during the Michigan game. And he said, as the coach of Ohio State, especially in that game, your face has to be painted with confidence. And Ryan goes over there, talks to Julian, boom, boom, yep, missed it, went to trail, quarterback got over, didn't see it. All right, we're good. Didn't yell at him, didn't undress him, didn't go crazy. And then they go out and then they proceed to dominate the rest of the football game. Yeah. And that to me is what was really impressive. Is it's not the 10% of the game that happened, it's the 90% of the game that you reacted to. And you didn't let your emotions control you. You controlled them. And it was such a positive experience because you're able to get that all taken care of.
Yeah, 100%. And that's, even after that, Bob. So you go in and then you get the ball back and 11 play drive, 69 yards. Don't punch it in, get a field goal, 6-3. There are some things in there. It's like, I'm like, just keep Bo in, right? The guy's showing you he's hitting runs. Michigan had a personal foul, moved the ball. It was going to be third and goal.
By the way, we
chances.
just land on that. I've never been part of any sport where you put your hands on the official, like more than like a shoulder, like a handshake. Like I'd always talk to guys, put your arm around them, but like you make an aggressive physical move at an official, headbutting them in the face, and you don't get ejected. I was like, dude, that guy, I feel bad for him. I was like, he's gonna miss this whole game. Yeah. And then they just gave him a 15-yarder, which was just half the distance. Their one penalty for 3 yards. It's automatic first down. I get it. But did you put your face mask into an official's face? Like that, yeah. I could not believe that. Listen, if somebody did that at Ohio State, I'm like, yep, like, dude, you're gone. Like, you're gone. That's just what it is. Like, those guys are supposed to be protected. The guys in the stripes, you do not touch. Like, it's like there's the champagne room at the strip club, no touching policy.
And the reason I didn't bring that up in particular of my point, but it was the fact that drive was almost 70 yards, 5 minutes. You only got 3. Then what does an elite defense do? First off, great field position, ball in OSU's 39, held them to a field goal. They come back out, 3 and out. Brandon has a 14-yard punt return, sets them up going to the second quarter. Boom, another 10-play, 63-yard drive, 5 minutes, 50 seconds almost. Now you're 10-6. And that's when you feel it. And that's what I said at the very beginning of this, Bob. You and I both said that. Tough gut cheese, as Mickey Marotti says, and an elite defense. And that's what I've hung a hat on all year about Ohio State, Matt and Patricia, and what they did. And I love the fact that at the end, he's like, I told you, and it was like 100% right. The defense allows those mistakes to happen because they're going to go in and do their job when called upon. They 100% responded. We didn't necessarily score offensively. Awesome. Guess what? Our turn, 3 and out. Here's the ball back offense. We know what you're capable of. Boom. Almost 6 minutes. Touchdown. And that was the game. And Caden Curry said it best, Bob, when we were talking about this. It was like we just had to make them play quarterback. And if you're thinking about Ohio State and all these things that go on there, doesn't matter about the hype, the weather, whatever. We're built for these kind of things. Like we've all played on them. Maybe not necessarily Julian Saiyan as much. Boom, you can get the Super Saiyan t-shirt at bigplay.com. Anyways, he hasn't played in a cold weather game like this, but he now lives and resides in the great state of Ohio and in Columbus, Ohio, and it gets kind of cold. It's cold right now. And they practice in this stuff, so that was never going to be a thing. But this defense, guys, did everything that I thought that they would do and then some. They were so physical. Are we talking about the offense or defense right now?
We're talking about overall game thoughts. Like,
okay, good. So that was that one. I just want to say,
are you surprised like the cold? Did the cold impact this at all? Like,
no. Here's the thing, guys. The answer was it goes back to chop wood, carry water, and what this offensive line and tight ends were building toward. All the ones. Why are we just running this? Why are we just running that? Why aren't they hitting this? And then guess what? In the game that everybody cares about the most in the regular season, it hit, and it hit, and it hit to the tune of 186 yards. Ohio State's rush defense, you gave up 108 in the first half. Not what you like to do. You've been giving up 80 yards a game. Michigan's only been giving up 90 yards a game, right? So you're like, nobody's going to really run the football. No, they owned the entire line of scrimmage. I got great clips in there. Bailey sending me stuff about his tight ends. And I told you guys, Will Kazmarek and why I love Max Kramer.
We'll get into all that.
I know, but dude, it was physical, guys. It was physical. Up front, K-Mac, O-line, KJ, one of his best games as a Buckeye in this game. Tight ends, thumping people. Nate Roberts doing things, man. Like, that's what came out in this game. And I know that it was there. I know what they're building to. Hopefully you guys listen and understand that Bob and I know what we're kind of talking about. But to see it all come to fruition in this game, which is what they were building toward, it was a very beautiful, comfortable television experience for me while I had this toasty fire going right next to me, and I had a cocktail in my laptop as I'm taking notes, watching it with my father-in-law. It was freaking awesome.
All right. A couple of notes here. Listen, Super Saiyan t-shirt giveaway. Follow and retweet at Bobby Carp Show. And boom, you get a chance to win a free t-shirt. Looking sweet. That's great. All right. We're going to take a quick break here, Schlegs. We're going to come back. We're going to get a chance to then talk about the offense. We'll dive in on that. There's one player I really want to talk about in a big way. A guy, they always say heroes are made, legends are born in that game. That was Urban's. And there was one that was born in what is probably his final Michigan game. We'll talk about that. But first, a message from FanDuel. You know how fast the NFL game days move. One big play, everything changes. That's why live betting on FanDuel. It's a game changer with FanDuel. You can bet in real time while the game unfolds. Score just flipped. Jump on a new spread or live money line. Wide receivers heating up. Bet the next touchdown score or total yards. Think that drive stalls in the red zone. Take a live field goal prop or fade the total. Live player props, team totals, drive results, updated spreads, next play markets. It's all there. It's fast. It's fun. And with FanDuel, your live bets move as quickly as the game does. So whether you're riding momentum or fading big plays and the hype, FanDuel puts you right in the middle of every moment. Visit FanDuel.com/bigplay to download the app and bet the NFL live all season long. Must be 21 older and present in select states. For Kansas, an affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, 18 older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. More of the Bobby Carpenter Show and that offense coming up next. Welcome back into the Bobby Carpenter Show. And as we talked about this a lot, there was a lot of ambiguity on what the game was going to look like. Who was going to be out there on Saturday? And in the prior game against Rutgers, JJ and Carnell didn't play. The game before that, UCLA, Carnell didn't play. Purdue game, warms up, doesn't play. 5 catches, 82 yards later, and a 50-yard bomb that basically put that game on ice. Carnell Tate, number 17. And a reason I bring that up is because everybody was throwing all this shade about how he was injured, Schlegs, and that he wasn't going to play. And he wasn't going to play not because he was hurt, but because he was opting out. And the amount of people that I had talk to me about that and ask me, hey, he's with Rosenhaus, who did, Jackson Smith and Jigba, and they opted out. I was like, they did not. They did not. And they're telling him not to play. His management, his people, they're telling him not to play. I go, let me tell you this, man.
Tell me, Bob. Tell me right now.
I got a lot of respect and a lot of love for Carnell because I give him hell every time I see him in the weight room because I call him slim. I always tell him he's get bigger and stronger and get on him all the time. But, that's a kid, who lost his mom suddenly. She was murdered in Chicago. And Ohio State, those guys, they're his family. Ryan Day has done an unbelievable job of dealing with personal tragedy for his players here. I mean, he's uniquely qualified to handle it, given his personal experiences. And Carnell's all in on this, man. He's a Buckeye. And I can't wait. I didn't get a chance to talk to him today. But the one thing I'll tell him, I was like, dude, 15, 20 years from now, your performance is going to be legendary. And the fact that people thought you weren't in and to listen, people, I know a guy at the hospital and they said nothing's wrong with him and he's not going to play. I was like, I'm done, man. I'm done. It's like, I'm not telling you what he's going to do, but I'll tell you if he can play, he'll be out there. He went out there and put on a show and the 50-yard clincher slugs and hits the pose in the end zone, sitting there staring up at everyone. It was iconic and it was legendary. And it was the play that literally, if there was any doubt in your mind, at that point, that doubt was eliminated. And he's been through a lot. And he's always been kind of the one 1A to JJ the last 2 years. And before that, you had all these great players, and Emeka's been here. Like he's never been the guy, but he's going to be the guy at the next level. And he's going to be a first-round draft pick. And he's a great human and a great player. And to watch him have that success out there on Saturday, man, it was an awesome thing.
Yeah. And Bob, one, we don't ever abuse our access. But we try to give you the glimpses of the people behind the scenes and who they are. And Carnell's matured significantly through the process and battling trials and tribulations in his life. And we said it, man, like one of the proudest things that I was of him was that he was awarded the Iron Buckeye. Like that's nothing that should be discredited or something that's handed out lightly or to a guy that's a really good player that is in the weight room. No, like he is the guy in the weight room in the hardest stuff that will prepare him for these things. And so that maturity mentally and physically for him has set him up to have this type of year. It just doesn't happen. Okay, Arvell Reese had to go through the crucible of training to get to where he is now, sitting behind other people. He wasn't ready last year. He's ready now. And so going back to Carnell, you and I both know what these injuries are and what they take. And we also know, Bob, and we talk about this, Sean, Stu, and the boys that are in our AT and PT area there are the best at return to play. And those guys are going to work it and listen to them. Matter of fact, just a side nugget out there, Joe Burrows, all right, with the S plural, he still goes back to Stu. So, like, you have guys, I'm just letting you guys don't know this, but there is no doubt that these guys are going to play from Bob and I. Matter of fact, we do get pissed off when random people who don't know shit speak otherwise about dudes that we know and care about because you don't have the intimate relationship that we do with them. And so it was great, not only for the fact of we've been talking about how great the hire was, Matty P, and everything that came out, how good Caden was going to have a year and how KJ was going to have a year and what we thought about K-Mac and what we think about JJ, and he just dominates everybody, and the rise of Carnell Tate and what we said Julian was going to come into this year being able to do. Side nugget, highest completion over 12 games as a redshirt freshman in all of college football history, boom. But to me, those type of moments, Bob, regardless of where you are, Carnell Tate and what he did in this game, Will Kastner and what he did in this game, Bo Jackson and what he did in this game, Luke Montgomery and what he did in this game, Sonny and what he did as a senior in this game with his other brother, Lorenzo, who
we're going to get to the defense next.
I'm just saying, but it's the culmination. I just don't think that everybody, you guys are thinking about the game and it's all like touchy-feely, emotional for you. Well, this shit's real for the ones that play in it. Just letting you know. And so to think that guys aren't going to go do that when, like, because of their teammates and the culmination the entire year to get to this point, that's what gets my piss hot. There you go.
Nice and warm. Offensive line, Julian Schleggs wasn't touched back there.
No,
had all the time in the world.
Amazing.
Captain Cool, throwing in the inclement weather. Wasn't really that windy. It was cold. Said to his teammates, like, hey, I enjoyed playing in the snow. It's kind of fun when you're a kid from SoCal. It's a little bit different. Maybe you like the seasons a little more. But it all started, as you touched on there, up there with that offensive line. And we've been, I wouldn't say critical, respectfully critiquing the right guard position. And they've been trying to roll some guys through there. Integra Shabola struggled mightily against Michigan last year. Started rolling him through, played much better in the playoff. Has played really good at points this year. Struggled at points this year. Played really well. Philip Daniels, mashing. The right side of the offensive line did a great job. I mean, Carson Hinsman wearing dudes out. Austin Saraveld, Luke Montgomery on the left. I mean, they were running it to the right, running it to the left, pulling guys. Will Kazmarek, Bennett Christensen. Like, dude, they were just mauling dudes. There was some maulings going on out there, and that's the only way that you get 186 yards on the ground. Ohio State could have probably thrown it a little more, and they could have probably scored some more points. When you start talking about those drive Schleggs and the amount of time that it took off the clock, and Bo Jackson having, 160 some odd total yards, like it is impressive. And then also CJ at the end of the game, they're pounding the rock.
Yeah.
And being able to run it out and be able to knee it at the end. Oh my gosh. There's nothing that feels better than that. When they got that final first down at the 2-minute timeout, and I'm like, they're going to have to sit here now. You have to sit there in a pile of shame as a defensive player, knowing you couldn't get off the field. And the linemen are just looking at you and they're just taking knees. Enjoying, they're snapping it and they're taking knees. And it was absolutely a beautiful thing. And it was led by those guys up front. They were big, they're powerful. They got embarrassed last year, and this year they came out, Schlegs, and they set the tone in a big way. And then also, another guy who really hasn't gotten a lot of the love that people thought he would this year because they only have one ball and they're not running a lot of plays. But Brandon Ennis, catches the touchdown before half, and then the third down prior to that, they kept the chains moving. 2 huge catches, 2 big catches for him. And he's out there blocking his butt off and doing everything else. And you get a touchdown in the Michigan game, man. That's special stuff.
Yeah, somebody put in the chat 43 knockdowns or pancakes or something like that in the game, and that's the physicality. But to your point, Bob, I wanted to go back, and we're talking about the offense, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so tip of the cap. So play design. There was one, there are 2 recollections. One, they ran like a bubble out there, wide receiver screen to JJ, blocked it up, only got a couple yards. They did the same thing, though, to a back to the flat where Max fake block went up, Julian hit him behind.
Yeah.
If he throws it in front, he missed that throw. If he throws it in front, that's like 35 yards, man. Like, great setup. Came back to it later, okay? Then Brandon's touchdown. I think the play to get the first down, Bob, same thing. Kind of a bunch, right? Extended bunch, right? Max is up first. Inside, Max goes in and releases outside. Brandon comes in, slant, first down. They go to the end zone, do the same thing, but he releases hard inside and vertical. Same situation, same freaking play, just a different release. Because what do we tell you guys about? Starts at L, ends in levels, right? So defenses, right? Like that's what they're doing on that. Same design, same play call, ran a slightly different touchdown. Great job, Brian Harline and the guys for executing that. But that's just the game within the game, the appreciation for when you see guys really going and actually working on their craft and doing it and being unselfish.
All right, we're going to take a quick break here. First, I want to tell you about our friends over at Export. Parents and athletes, protect what matters most with Export mouthguards. Trusted by professional athletes, designed by NHL team dentists. Export mouthguards, they're scientifically tested to help absorb those high-impact hits, protecting both your teeth and your brain. They're custom fitted with 3 layers of advanced protection, which means more protection, better performance, max comfort, and clear communication. So they 3D print those bad boys right to your grill. Focus on your game, not on your gear. Don't take chances with your safety. Visit exportguards.com/Bobby today and save 15% on your order. Export, protect what matters most. We break it down that Ohio State defense in the game coming up next. I'm Garage Beer, and this is Bobby Carpenter.
Garage Beer. Beer-flavored beer.
Beef with an F? Okay, my bad. It's crisp and cool, and it doesn't taste like I'm Bobby Carpenter. I drink in garages because my wife says I don't belong inside. If you like a cold breeze on your bag, drink Garage Beer. It's American, and so can you. Garage Beer. Beer-flavored beer. All right, welcome back into the Bobby Carpenter Show. And so as we talked a lot about the offense here. Defensively, it was probably even more impressive, especially you take out the first 6 points on one big drive and then the other off of a turnover. 1 of 9 on third down, 0 of 4 on fourth down, 163 total yards. They rushed it for 100. They actually lost, I think, 8 or 9 yards rushing in the second half. It would have been nice if they could have got them all the way back down to double digits. But only 19:59 of time of possession. The floor is yours. Oh, Schlegs is gone. There he is. All right. Hopefully he comes back. He disappeared on us. I was about ready to just give him the floor Let him talk about everything.
Well, I'm ready. I don't know
All
what
right,
happened.
you
I had
talk,
no
Shikes.
snare in my headphones. I had
You
no snare in
dive
my
in
headphones.
on the defense. Dive in on the defense.
So let's talk about this. Ryan Day's plan. First off, they play like an entire game less than the next competitor. Why? They're building up for a reason. They're methodical. They're playing professional football at the college level. Love that. In this game, defense. You know what really helps an elite defense besides the fact that they're an elite defense, Bob? You know what that is?
What's that?
A freaking offense that runs 78 plays, and you only have to run 42 freaking plays in an entire game.
Well,
you could do a hell of a lot of things when you got 42 plays, aka give up only 9 points. Michigan had 39 yards in the second half, Bob, to Ohio State's 198. They had 2 runs that basically were half of all their running yards. The dudes up front, and I'm talking Caden, K-Mac, Edric was in there. You saw some of the interior guys rotate in there. KJ, did I already say him, right? Veli, Peyton Pierce, Sonny, man. What a phenomenal job. And one thing, too, I'd be remiss if I said this. Their number 1 wide receiver, you know how many catches he had, Bob, in this game? He had 0. He had 0. He had 0. Tip of the cap to IGB. I know they got the flag. Jermaine had a flag. I thought that was BS. A PI on that one.
14 yards out of bounds.
Yeah, exactly. And he really didn't push off or extend. Only 8 completions for Underwood. I know that, Pat. It was terrible. But it goes back to Caden Curry. And when you hear a player, I just want you guys to understand this too. One thing I love about Matt Patricia is he's going to call it like he sees it, and he educates the guys while we're doing what we're doing. He's like, guys, I'm not in the meetings, but here's what I think the game plan will be. Guys, you know what we're going to do defensively? We are going to make Underwood beat us with his arm and actually play quarterback. And what did Caden Curry say? Hey, all we had to do was make him play quarterback. And they're going to have a chance. And that's what they did. And they did it. K-Mac did it, especially in the front, by being able to sling dudes off him and stuff the run. You were seeing a ton of hats to the ball. They were suffocating. Michigan was 1 of 5. I don't even need to look at the stats because I don't remember them. They were 1 of 5 on 3rd down. Remember the week before when they were having success and we were talking about this? When Michigan was winning games this season, they were really good on 3rd down. In this game, first half, why you don't score points and get field goals, 1 of 5 on 3rd down. In the second half, guess
they
what?
Were 12 of 14 against Maryland.
Yeah, 12 of 14. Well, guess what? This game, 1 for 9, Bob. 1 for 9. 1 for 9. It's crazy. Keep going. Go, elaborate some more, because then we can talk about how good this defense is in the history of defenses.
It was the most physical game I've seen Sonny Styles play. I mean, he led the team, 6 tackles, TFL, firing downhill, being ultra decisive, ultra aggressive. And sometimes like that means you're going to eat up a block and you're turning the ball back to your guys. But when he had a chance to go make a play, he ran through there. And that's what you expect to see out of a guy who is donning the block L. I mean, he's the leader. He had to be the bell cow, and your best dudes have to be the best in these big games. And he was phenomenal. Set the tempo. Jalen McClain Schlegs, he had 5 tackles, and a couple of those were like touchdown saving style tackles in the back end. And they didn't give him those big hits. You got out, but they didn't run for touchdowns. And so a tip of the cap to Jalen McClain, in there. You mentioned IGB, the interception. One of the other guys that probably wasn't talked about, the D-line, you can get into all of them with what they were able to do, because they absolutely – if you're stopping the run like that, you're eating up front. Those guys are getting after it. But a guy that probably, we've talked a lot about this year in Caleb Downs, didn't have a ton of stats, only had 3 tackles. At the end of the game, when they were throwing that ball to the flat Schlegs, and you saw, I believe it was him that came up, and I think it was one of their tight ends. It was incomplete. And Caleb smokes him right in the quad. Oh my gosh.
No, that was him. He was playing depth. That was him.
Yeah.
That was him.
Yeah. Not only are you getting beat, not only is it cold outside, but you're going to be walking around Schlegs with a limp for the next week, because that thing is going to be brutal.
Yeah.
But he was physical. He affected Underwood in the pocket. He was a sure tackler. He did everything that he normally did. And what's crazy, when they only run 40-some offensive snaps, Schlegs, there's not a lot of tackles to go around, especially because Underwood really can't complete a pass. So there weren't a whole lot of tackles to be had. And that's just how well this defense played. You can talk about some of your favorite players and what you've seen now.
Well, Tywone Malone's a guy. I mean, he had 4 tackles. K-Mac had 4 tackles, but Tywone Malone was a guy transferred in, I believe, from Ole Miss, Bob, and expected a lot of things, but like had one of his better games in this game. Like, that's the point. I thought Jalen McClain has had a phenomenal year as a first-year starter. A lot of that is because of what Caleb Downs can do. You see Matty P using Caleb off of the edge, Bob. Like he is our version of Dante Whitner. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's just more athletic, right? Like you could use him whatever you want. Star, safety, linebacker, it doesn't matter. Bring him. That's kind of what Caleb is now in 2025 Ohio State defense. Played a hell of a game. And when you have, you and I talk about this all the time, when you have really football savvy dudes and Sonny and Caleb, that Sonny's running the front 7, Caleb's running the back 5, right? Like that kind of communication, people are firing on all cylinders, and just very, very proud of the way they have executed. And most importantly, and I think this is the thing that is probably underappreciated the most, they are just freaking consistent, and they respond when called upon every single time. It's why you always got to put your money on them or hang your hat on them whenever the test arrives, because you just unequivocally believe that they're going to rise to the challenge. They did it last year, and while losing 14 guys to the NFL draft, this Ohio State team and this defense, a lot of veterans that left, have came up, and in 1 year under Matty P is potentially one of the best defenses in the last 50 years, Bob. And you could easily say that because they're the only defense that has given up less than 17 points to their 12 teams that they played.
Since 1975, the Florida Gators, I think, did that. So 50 years, to your point. I mean,
think about that, man. Like, we got Buckeye leaves, Bob, if we held a team under 13, right? Yeah. 13 or below. They've held every team under 17 points. I think it was just one game in Illinois where they gave up 16. I mean, it's amazing how, regardless of their competition and who they play, regardless of who you play, Bob, it is hard to not give up 14 points to a team.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, 84 points, 12 games by my math legs. That's 7 on the nose a game. That's a touchdown a game. And they don't give up a lot of touchdowns. A lot of it is field goals. Matt Patricia, I mean, we'll talk about him glowingly. We already have all season long, and you saw it on full display, what he was able to do out there. All right, we got our headlines coming up next. We'll get into some of the big stuff there. Great Bo Jackson stat, maybe some of the other things that are coming. But first, I'll tell you about our friends at Backer. Listen, it's Cyber Monday. They're going to have deals for you. Go check them out. bckr.com. Unbelievable fan gear. They're adding their different product lines, more SKUs. They got more colors, more teams available. It's all there for you. It's the premium gear that looks good and feels good. They're growing, folks. You want to get this now so you can be one of the first, the early adopters as they continue to expand through the college football universe. They're tremendous. It looks good. The features that you love, like the high-end fishing and hunting and skiing stuff. So listen, if you go there now, it's free shipping. Use promo code all caps BOBBY at checkout. You get another 10% off. Again, that's Backer, bckr.com. Go check them out. Cyber Monday special. Buy a jacket, get a $50 gift card. Poof David Copperfield. How about that for our friends over at Backer? Go check them out and check more of us out with headlines coming up next. All right, welcome back in to the Bobby Carpenter Show. We got our headline schlegs, and we'll start off maybe with some of the special teams players of the game as we break down some of those guys, give people a chance to kind of see and get some love as Ohio State was putting a little bit of that out. Pat, we can throw those dudes up whenever we ultimately get a chance. But there we go. Is that Devin Sanchez? I believe it is. Number 6 out there. Devin Sanchez.
Old Dirty Sanchez.
Yeah. And listen, your freshman year, man, playing in that game, the plays you make are absolutely fantastic. Boom. Then who else do we have, Schlegs? We've got our guy, Mr. Riley Pettijohn. How about that? Coming in, number 20, another young linebacker playing big in a game like this and in that moment. So that was ultimately huge to see as well. And so good for him. Big time player.
And you had Lorenzo Styles too, man.
Yes. And then Lorenzo Styles, special teams player of the game. And
that was a tough one, man. Guys, I'm telling you, man, like Lorenzo, you guys don't know what it feels like to go out there and hit people when you have a jacked up labrum. That's a tough dude, man. Tough dude. And he made a lot of plays on defense too. So
oh, yeah. And then also our guy, another young corner, Mr. Aaron Scott, who's been playing great all year. He's been a demon on kickoff, Schlegs. He's done a great job. And, I'm looking forward, with IGB, out next year, there's going to be some spots open up. Guys will be moving in there to play. Like, I'm curious. I'm excited to watch him play and go out there and be that dude next year, and him and Devin Sanchez as they get a little more room to grow. We didn't throw the offensive players of the game up earlier. I mean, Schlegs, it's basically the whole offense. I mean, you've got all the skill guys. You've got the linemen down below. You've got everything that's there. And Carnell with the iconic pose ultimately in the front. But this was a total team effort that everybody got to get in on. And with that, let's throw those bow stats up, Schlegs, so we get a chance to talk about that, Pat. Ohio State running back Bo Jackson gained 94 is 117 yards after contact. That was a dude that was running hard. They were opening holes for him, but then he was also grinding out there. That's as per Pro Football Focus. Your thoughts?
Yeah. No, I mean, I think he had 166 yards too total in this game. And then he also, over his last 5 games, this is another one, Pat, if you want to throw it up. Yeah, there you go. Boom. 105, 80, 112, 124, 168. Hey, where's the touchdown? It doesn't matter. The guy, and his best run, and I loved it. I was sitting there at Father-in-law, and he gave him the steaky leg. I was like, man, look at that. That was a great run. You guys remember that? It was going to the right. That was a great run, man. Dude played his absolute face off. And that, where was he at the beginning of the year? Why aren't we seeing him? He's a freshman. There's a process. There's a process, man. And not that, you're about the process. No, he had to learn and grow and get better. Pass pro, understanding the fits of the offensive lineman while they're understanding the fits with each other with the 5 and the tight ends and how we're going to do it. It matters. I will say this. I love his patience, man. And when he hits it, he'll hit it.
Absolutely. That's what she said. And that's going to be it for our headlines, Schlegs. We're going to take a quick break because we got our tailgate talk. Any questions that people have in the chat, feel free to fire them out there. We'd love to answer them as we begin to wrap up the show here. A little bit left. Stay locked in here with us. I'm Garage Beer, and this is Bobby Carpenter.
Garage Beer. Beer flavored beer.
Beef with an F? Okay, my bad. It's crisp and cool, and it doesn't taste like I'm Bobby Carpenter. I drink in garages because my wife says I don't belong inside. If you like a cold breeze on your bag, drink Garage Beer. It's American, and so can you. Garage Beer. Beer flavored beer. All right, welcome into our headline, Schlegs, or our tailgate talk, rather. We answer your questions. This coming from Derek Worley, Bobber Schlegs. Is there any risk of losing Bradford to LSU with Lane there now? Was he planning on signing for ESD, early signing day? Sorry, it took me a minute. I wouldn't think so.
You guys are talking about, I love this. This is amazing. I don't give 2 shits about it. Because you know why? We're thinking about IU in the championship game. That's the thing, man. You know what we should go on to, Bob, is this whole freaking – we need to get a whiteboard, Bob, and just show everybody out there what the actual football calendar should look like. That's just saying. But anyways, appreciate the question. I'm thinking about IU. Anyways.
Here you go, Schlegs. This is by Dr. Dato. Is OSU more dangerous now after finally beating Michigan or last year after losing to them going forward? Great question.
Yeah, honestly, that is a great question. And I would say they're equally dangerous because think about this. Sometimes there's that come to Jesus moment where like, hey, we got to let it rip. We're way better than we're playing. But there's also the times of the validation that the results happen by going through the process. It makes you hungrier to continue to go through the process. You guys figure that out. Like you go do something that you love to do and you get a win and you see it to start grow. What do? You get hungry, you get excited to go back to work to like get that again. That's what transpired in this one. So I think it's equally, but us as a fan and people that support the team, I'd much rather have it with a win than with a loss. Bob?
I think last year it was part of the story. They tweet out stuff. It's not on your time; it's on God's time, and that's how it ultimately worked out. Since that loss, like 16-0, I believe 7 victories over top 15 teams or top whatever opponents. National championship now, a victory over Michigan. I know for 17 they'd like to get a Big Ten championship and keep this thing rolling along, moving forward. And so this team has unfinished business. There's a focus to them. And every team takes on its own unique kind of organic life and personality. And this team is way different than last year. And it's different from them in a good way. You'd love to see it, but there was like an anger. K-Mac is one of the leaders now. You've got Sonny, like all of these guys who played some and played a lot even last year. Now they're the dudes. They're elevated. So the defense and the offense, total team, like you become the personality of the guys that are around you. And so they love each other. They love working hard. And these guys want to be the stars on a team that ultimately wins it. They want it to be their team to win it this year. And so I know they're hungry and going to be ready to rock. One final one here from David Greenshield. What offense would you compare Indiana to? That's a really good one. I'm trying to think like out there because they've got a quarterback. Mendoza is tall. He's got a great release. He gets the ball out quick. He can run. He's a much better athlete than I thought he was, and he's taller. They run the ball well. Their offensive line is really well coached. And they've got Surratt on the outside, who's a really good receiver. They've got a couple of good receivers, but nobody like crazy elite. But they've got a couple NFL caliber receivers. They want to be run first. They want to be a run-first team. And I'm like struggling to kind of think because they're physical and they're tough. Like Cignetti's a tough dude. And so that's
he likes that brand of ball.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like he likes to be able to – and their defense is very, very good. And they got a chip. I love watching it. They got a chip on their shoulder, man. Like they said it, man. We're a bunch of FCS guys and guys that nobody cared and got developed. And here we are. We're putting it together, and we got a senior quarterback, and they're playing great ball, man. They're 12-0, first time ever in their school. They were the most losing team in all of college football. Now it's Northwestern, right? And they're 12-0, playing in the first conference championship game between a 1 and 2 since 2009. Like, it's awesome to see. I kind of go back, Bob. Like, I don't remember the rushing that we had at Ohio State, but kind of reminds me of like that style of with Dwayne, where it's like run. Like,
he'll run it. He'll run it,
but he'll run it more. That's what I'm saying. But he doesn't run it as much. Like I don't know.
He can. And he will at times, but he's not a big run first guy. But he's athletic. He's tall. He can flip it.
He'll move the chains. He'll move the chains.
Final one is the Brinks truck backed up to Matty P's house now. I'm sure they're taking care of Matty. I don't think he wants to leave anywhere. I know that relationship he has with Ryan is strong, and his family really enjoys it here. So, not saying he would never, but I think he's in a pretty good spot right now and enjoying coaching the players we have here. All right, that's it. We're going to take a quick break. We're coming back, wrapping up the show with Schleg's parting thoughts and side nuggets.
Yes.
All right, Schleg's.
I just had some slap dick just saying like Michigan's planted the flag twice. First off, you're a child. Second off, they're 5-15 in the last 20 years. Who gives a shit? Anyways, throw it up there, Pat. Give me a nugget right here. Let me give you a juicy nugget. Okay, something that's gone under the radar. Stephen Means, I appreciate you putting this out here. Ohio State quarterback coach Walton got his first win over Michigan today. Went 0-4 as a player.
I think
lost.
I think he tied one. I think he went 0-3-1. I think he was there in 90. or 90, 91. I
Do
think
they
was-
give him out with a tie? You only get half a leg?
No, exactly. Get one leg of pants.
And you got to like solder it on like a prosthetic.
Mm.
Anyways, but I tell you what though, and why did I bring this up as a nugget? Hopefully you guys have been blessed by how much I've been blessed by OG Walton and Stop for Thursdays. And more importantly, I just appreciate the way that he pours into his young men and why Matty P is a fit here. Like we'll get into that tomorrow about what Ryan Day had to say about him. But I just appreciate Walt, and it's great that he got his first pair. Awesome.
Absolutely.
Along with a lot of these guys.
Show. Stay locked in. We got a lot more stuff to talk about. Tomorrow we'll have a ton of stuff for the national thing, coaching searches, how that impacts Ohio State's guys. And then there's more on this game that we can get into. But we are constrained by some time, folks. We appreciate it. 1992, a 13-13 tie. Gordon Gee called it one of the great wins in Ohio State history.
Come on, Gordon.
That's that clown. Exactly. All right. Have a good one. We'll catch up with you tomorrow here on the Bobby Carpenter Show.